This week on The Bold and the Beautiful was not defined by loud explosions or sudden shocks, but by a slow, deliberate tightening of the strings that hold everything together. It was the kind of week that seems quiet on the surface, but underneath, something is shifting. Conversations were heavier, glances lingered longer, and every decision seemed to carry weight far beyond the moment it was made. Power didn't change hands with fanfare. It moved in silence, through calculated choices, veiled threats, and subtle alignments. People who once stood on solid ground began to feel the earth tilt beneath their feet. Relationships that seemed unbreakable were tested. Promises were examined under a harsher light. Trust became currency, and not everyone had enough to spend. Secrets, the kind that can't be spoken without consequences, pressed closer to the surface. They were present in every pause, in every unfinished sentence, in every guarded look exchanged between people who know far more than they're willing to admit. What was hidden is now too close to stay buried much longer. The weight of what is unsaid is growing, and it's only a matter of time before the silence breaks. Loyalties were questioned this week, not through direct confrontation, but through quiet doubts. Certain alliances held stronger than others, while some began to unravel in subtle ways. A few people reached for control. Others clung to the illusion of it. And some, sensing that change is near, have already begun to position themselves for what's coming. In a world like this, no one stands still for long. Love, ambition, and fear all collided behind the walls of powerful families. Those who claim to act out of loyalty may be protecting something else entirely. Those who swore to tell the truth are carrying more than anyone knows. And those who stayed silent may be the ones who changed the course of everything without ever saying a word. It's not just about what happened this week, it's about the quiet, careful groundwork being laid for what's about to explode. The air around these stories is growing dense with expectation. Choices are being made in the shadows. Lines are being drawn not with grand gestures, but with careful steps. And the thing about quiet storms is that they build slowly, until they don't. Every minor decision this week, every hesitation, every carefully chosen word, is setting the stage for something much larger. The question isn't if the balance will tip, it's when. And when it does, everything that's been hidden, everything that's been whispered, everything that's been buried, will rise to the surface. The foundation of trust will be tested. Some will stand, some will fall, but no one will come out unchanged. If you've been watching closely, you can already feel the current pulling everyone toward a turning point. This isn't just a transitional week. It's a quiet before the storm that will shape everything that follows. The tremors are already here. The storm isn't on the horizon anymore, it's circling closer with every moment. For those following the journey week after week, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for deeper analysis, layered breakdowns, and continuing story coverage. Keep the conversation going, because in this world, silence isn't safety, it's the sound of something waiting to break. Monday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful was an emotional and explosive hour that shook the Spencer family to its core. The truth everyone had been dreading finally came out when the paternity test results were revealed. It was confirmed that Will Spencer is the biological father of Luna's unborn child. The shocking revelation left the entire room stunned. For Will, who has been living under the weight of Luna's manipulation and assault, the moment was devastating. The reality of what happened to him came crashing down in front of everyone, and the world around him shifted in an instant. Before anyone could fully react to the bombshell, Deputy Chief Baker arrived at the Spencer mansion. In a dramatic turn of events, Luna was placed under arrest for her past crimes, including attempted murder. The arrest was triggered by none other than Electra Forrester, who stepped forward and admitted she was the one who called the police. Electra made it clear she would not allow Luna to have any part in Will's life or the baby's future. It was a move that sent shockwaves through the room and made it clear this battle is far from over. The fallout from the paternity test and Luna's arrest was immediate and intense. Bill Spencer, consumed with guilt and anger, blamed himself for not protecting his son from Luna's actions. He lunged at Luna in a moment of rage, but Katie and Will restrained him before things could escalate further. Katie Logan then confronted Luna, her voice steady and cold, promising her that she would never be part of their family. Katie made it clear that Luna had no place in their lives and that she would not be allowed to hurt Will or the baby. Will Spencer stood at the center of the storm, devastated by the results and struggling to process everything. He held on to a faint hope that the test might somehow be wrong, but deep down, he knew the truth. The emotional weight of being both a teenage father and a survivor of assault became painfully real, and his reaction revealed the deep trauma he is now forced to face. Ridge Forrester, standing firm, voiced what many in the room were thinking. He insisted that Luna needed to be sent back to prison and held accountable for every action that brought them to this point. Meanwhile, away from the chaos at the Spencer mansion, another storm was quietly forming. Sheila Carter, after witnessing Deacon's intimate moment with Taylor, began to plot her next move. Determined to strike back, Sheila dug into Taylor's past and unearthed a buried patient complaint. With this information in hand, she intends to sabotage Taylor's reputation and gain the upper hand once again. The episode ended with tensions at their highest point. Lives have been forever changed, trust has been shattered, and the stakes have never been higher. What began as one explosive revelation has now set in motion a chain of events that will shape the future of multiple families. In the world of the bold and the beautiful, nothing will ever be the same after this day. Today on The Bold and the Beautiful, the undercurrents of tension rippled through Los Angeles as truths were faced, warnings were given, and a surprising alliance quietly began to form. It wasn't a day of explosive confrontations, but rather one where decisions were made that will shape everything that follows. The episode opened with Dickie being hit with a piece of news that changed the tone of his entire day. He learned that Deacon had officially moved out. This wasn't just another one of Deacon's impulsive choices, this felt different. For Dickie, the news carried weight. He knows better than most what happens when Deacon follows his instincts into uncertain territory. There was a quiet heaviness in the moment, the kind that comes when you realize someone you care about is heading down a path you can't control. Dickie's worry wasn't loud or dramatic, but it was written on his face, a father watching his son make a move that could change everything. Meanwhile, over at the Forrester mansion, Finn made it clear he wasn't going to stand on the sidelines. He confronted Ridge directly, not with anger, but with calm, deliberate conviction. His warning to Ridge was simple but powerful: things are shifting, and not everyone's intentions can be trusted. Finn knows how quickly good intentions can be twisted in this town, and he's determined to protect the people he loves. His warning was the kind that Ridge couldn't easily brush off. Whether Ridge listens or not remains to be seen, but the seed has been planted, and that could lead to bigger conflicts down the line. Then came the moment no one saw coming. Deacon, a man who has made a career out of being self-reliant and stubborn, found himself reaching out to someone unexpected: Taylor. With the pressure closing in on him from all sides, emotionally, personally, and perhaps even legally, Deacon made the vulnerable choice to ask for help. Taylor, with her grounded presence and her history of being a voice of reason in the chaos, represents something steady in a storm. Deacon turning to her wasn't just about seeking advice, it was about finding a safe space to face the truth about his situation. In his world, that's no small step. What made today's episode so powerful wasn't just the plot points, but the emotional depth behind them. Dickie's worry for Deacon revealed a rare, fragile layer of fatherly concern. Finn's warning to Ridge reminded us that not every battle is fought with raised voices, some are fought with quiet determination. And Deacon turning to Taylor showed us a man caught between who he's been and who he might still have the chance to become. The beauty of The Bold and the Beautiful is that its biggest turning points don't always come with slamming doors and shouting matches. Sometimes, the real shifts happen in quiet conversations, private decisions, and subtle moments that linger long after the scene fades to black. As these threads continue to intertwine, one thing is clear: today was a setup for something bigger. Trust will be tested, lines will be crossed, and unexpected alliances could change the entire landscape. Los Angeles is rarely calm for long, and after today, the storm clouds are gathering once again. Today on The Bold and the Beautiful, the spotlight wasn't on scandal or betrayal, but on reflection, growth, and quiet turning points. It was the kind of episode where small conversations carried deep meaning, where hopes, fears, and new possibilities intertwined in ways that could reshape the road ahead. The episode began with Brooke speaking openly about Taylor's future. For years, their lives have been tangled together through love, rivalry, and family, always circling back to the same man, the same heartache, and the same battles. But today, Brooke's tone wasn't combative. It was genuine, even soft. She admitted, with surprising sincerity, that she truly hopes Taylor finds a new man. Not just anyone, but someone who can love her fully, without the baggage, without the constant pull of old history. For Brooke to say this is no small thing. It's an acknowledgement of their shared past and a quiet wish for both of them to finally find peace beyond Ridge. In that moment, Brooke wasn't a rival. She was a woman recognizing another woman's worth, and hoping she finds a love story of her own. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Los Angeles, Hope and Dickie found themselves united in something that mattered deeply to both of them: their desire to protect Deacon from going down a dangerous path. Their conversation was clear and firm. Neither of them wants to see Deacon tangled up with Sheila again. The mention of her name alone is enough to cast a shadow over everything. They know Sheila's history, the chaos, the danger, the emotional wreckage she leaves behind. And they're not willing to stand by and watch Deacon repeat the same mistakes that nearly destroyed everything before. This wasn't just family worrying about family. This was a daughter and a father, bonded in a shared fear, trying to save someone they love from a future they both know too well. But the heart of the episode came when Deacon and Taylor crossed paths. What began as a simple conversation turned into something layered and unexpectedly meaningful. These are two people who know what it's like to be judged, to be defined by past mistakes, to carry the weight of complicated lives. As they sat together, they shared something rare in this world of high drama: genuine mutual admiration. Deacon, so often dismissed as the man who can't get it right, spoke to Taylor with respect and honesty. He saw her not just as the town psychiatrist, not just as Ridge's ex, but as a woman of strength and grace. Taylor, in turn, saw something in Deacon she wasn't expecting: a man trying to do better, to change, to find a path forward that isn't defined by his past. There was a warmth in their exchange, a spark that wasn't loud but undeniable. This moment wasn't about romantic declarations or big gestures. It was about connection, two people finding common ground in their shared humanity. It's the kind of scene that doesn't scream for attention but lingers quietly, leaving viewers wondering if something new and unexpected might be on the horizon. What made today's episode stand out was its emotional honesty. Brooke's heartfelt hope for Taylor's happiness showed just how much their rivalry has evolved. Hope and Dickie's united front against Sheila's influence revealed the depth of their love for Deacon, and their determination to protect him from himself. And Deacon and Taylor's moment of mutual respect hinted at the possibility of something more, something neither of them saw coming. In a world as tangled and dramatic as Los Angeles, where betrayal often makes the headlines, it's easy to overlook the quiet shifts that truly change everything. But today was one of those days. A day of honest conversations. Of people reflecting on where they've been and where they might want to go next. A day that reminded us that healing doesn't always come with grand speeches. Sometimes it comes in the stillness between two people simply understanding each other. And if today's events are any indication, the days ahead will not only challenge old dynamics but possibly create new bonds that no one expected. In this town, love and loyalty can change in an instant. But every shift begins somewhere. And today, we may have witnessed the quiet beginning of something bigger. Today on The Bold and the Beautiful, ambition, deception, and dangerous reminders of the past collide in a way that only this show can deliver. We begin with Dickie, a man who has spent years watching opportunity slip through his fingers, a man with a past that still defines him in the eyes of so many. But today, Dickie decides to rewrite his story. With quiet precision and a pulse of nervous energy, he slips his personal design portfolio into the pile of submissions for Ridge and Hope's next fashion line. This isn't just a professional gamble. This is his chance to prove that he's more than his history, more than his mistakes. He's betting it all on his talent, and on the slim hope that they'll see his work before they see him. Meanwhile, Ridge and Hope are hard at work inside the design office, surrounded by sketches, fabric swatches, and endless possibilities. The stakes for this line are sky high. They're looking for something different, something that carries a voice, a vision, a spark of brilliance. Submission after submission passes across the table, but none of them truly stand out. And then, Ridge pauses. Hope leans closer. A portfolio unlike the others sits before them. The sketches are bold, fresh, and filled with passion. There's an edge to it, a confidence that demands to be noticed. Ridge, impressed, notes the craftsmanship, while Hope is struck by the emotion woven into the designs. For the first time all day, they feel that rush of excitement that only comes when you've found something special. They don't yet know that the artist behind this portfolio isn't some unknown outsider. It's Dickie, someone with ties to their world, someone they never expected to be part of their creative circle. But the emotional heartbeat of the day doesn't stop with fashion. Across town, Taylor is caught off guard when Sheila arrives at her doorstep. There's no polite preamble. Sheila walks in with that unsettling calm she's mastered over the years, the kind of calm that carries warning bells beneath every word. Taylor stiffens immediately, knowing full well that Sheila doesn't make friendly visits. What follows is a conversation layered with tension, history, and unspoken threats. Sheila makes it clear that she's not going anywhere, that her presence in their lives is something everyone will have to live with whether they like it or not. Taylor tries to hold her ground, reminding Sheila of the pain she's caused, the chaos she's left in her wake. But Sheila, as always, knows how to twist a knife without ever raising her voice. She hints at things to come, dropping cryptic comments that leave Taylor uneasy long after she's gone. The power struggle between these two women isn't over. If anything, it's just beginning again. As the day winds down, two storms silently gather strength in opposite corners of Los Angeles. In the design house, a secret submission threatens to shift the direction of Ridge and Hope's creative vision, and once Dickie's involvement is revealed, the fallout could shake personal and professional relationships alike. And in Taylor's world, Sheila's renewed presence serves as a chilling reminder that no matter how much time passes, danger can return in the blink of an eye. These aren't just isolated moments. They're threads being pulled in a much larger tapestry, one woven with ambition, old grudges, fragile trust, and hidden truths. Every choice made today will have consequences. Every secret kept will eventually come to light. And in true Bold and the Beautiful fashion, the real explosion hasn't even happened yet, but it's coming. And that concludes today's intense and unforgettable episode of The Bold and the Beautiful. Every scene today carried a heavy emotional weight, from the shock and disbelief to the quiet moments of uncertainty that make this show so gripping. What we witnessed wasn't just another plot twist, it was a ripple that's going to shake the lives of multiple characters and set the stage for the next storm that's about to roll in. Poppy's reaction wasn't just surprising, it was layered, complicated, and revealing. Finn and Lee are standing at a crossroads, watching everything they thought they knew start to shift beneath them. Will is quietly fighting a battle between fear and hope, terrified of losing the one person he's come to care about more than he ever expected. And then there's the meeting between Dickie and Elektra, the kind of moment that may seem small now but could have far-reaching consequences as secrets start to unfold and alliances begin to form. This is the kind of storytelling that keeps fans invested for years. It's not just about the drama, it's about the intricate web of emotions, the consequences of choices, and the power dynamics that shift with every whispered conversation. Moments like these remind us why this show has stood the test of time. If you've been following along and loved dissecting every twist and turn, make sure to like this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you these deep dives and daily breakdowns. Leave a comment below, I want to know what you think. What are your theories about Poppy's reaction? Do you think Will and Elektra will survive this storm? And what does Dickie's sudden involvement really mean for the future of this storyline? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. By subscribing, you're joining a growing community of passionate fans who love to analyze, predict, and relive every moment of The Bold and the Beautiful. Turn on those notifications so you never miss a recap, spoiler discussion, or a big reveal. And finally, share this video with your friends, fellow soap lovers, and anyone who enjoys great storytelling. The more voices in the conversation, the more alive this fan community becomes. Until next time, keep watching, keep questioning, and keep feeling every moment. Because on The Bold and the Beautiful, no storyline is ever truly finished, it only leads to the next chapter, and it's almost always bigger than anyone expects.